Is it not the case that if bankers don't start practicing the tough love that the sector needs, then actually you're part of the problem, you're perpetuating the pain? In truth, isn't it time that you started pulling the plug?
Yeah, it's a very good question, which has been a discussion within our bank and every other banks as well if we should go that route. It's not that easy to go that route because usually you're in a financing position with many other banks, sometimes in a syndicate with 5 to 10 banks. And if you have solely the idea to, let's say, to write off the debt, but the other 9 others are not willing to do so, to really making steps going forward to take those haircuts and indeed lower the debt level within the sector is quite difficult. We've seen some restructurings. The bondholders have taken a lot of pain. Eventually, I think for some companies that have kicked the can, and also the banks have kicked the can, that eventually for those companies a haircut in the end might be taken or need to be taken. Also, in fact, because as also been elaborated during the conference, companies need to invest. There's new technology coming, and the only way to get that liquidity in is to perhaps write off some debt. It's not a popular thing to say as a banker, but eventually, for some cases, it might need to be done.
So picking up on that, how much of a hit would a healthy bank accept to close out their OSV position?
That's a very good question. It depends a bit, of course, bank by bank, and how much shareholders of banks are willing to take. In every session or every file that we take, we evaluate the options and how much haircuts would be needed, or maybe we should sell part of our exposure. It's difficult to say, give a clear answer. We've seen haircuts about, let's say, 10-20%, where maybe more need to be taken. But especially where you see rates picking up a bit, the first signs this year are improving. So also in the minds of credit committee members, there's still some hope to have lower haircuts than maybe needed at this moment.
We've heard from one leading US company, and we've learnt that US companies who are struggling have the option to ask for Chapter 11. European companies don't. Tidewater Gulf seems now to be in a good financial situation, while some shipping companies, for instance in Norway, are still not in a good financial state. Is Chapter 11 unfair? And is it time for a European Chapter 11?
Yeah, if we divide the market now, we see, let's say, companies that have been restructured through Chapter 11, so we are in a very positive and a very good shape, actually, relatively speaking. Then we have the companies that have been kicked the can, and we also have companies that have the unlevered bet, let's say, the standard drillings of today, with private equity coming in. If we have the kicking the can companies, there might be some zombie companies out there who may require a Chapter 11 procedure. So far it's not the case. It's every jurisdiction and every company's right to go whatever you want. If we go to other jurisdictions, especially from, for example, France, it's a different system, which is not always that helpful also for banks. Yeah, it is, of course, the level playing field differs after Chapter 11, but yeah, that's the market, and that's a part of the entrepreneurial risk the company needs to take into account.
When historians and analysts and interested industry participants look back on the OSV market in 2019, in 2025, what will they be saying that the market and its banks should have done? It's maybe very company specific. I would be inclined to say, well, that's most of the debt or some debt needs to be taken out or had to be taken out, that we maybe should not have kicked the can that much as we initially had been contemplating. Of course, there are some companies going through restructuring. We've seen the Tidewater Gulf market example. Maybe a consolidation package will go on, and eventually maybe 25 it might say, well, with all the consolidation or maybe more Chapter 11s, the market is healthy, and kicking the can was basically a good idea for the other companies. And finally, how have you found this year's OSJ conference?
I think it's fantastic. I think in spite of the mood in the market, everybody is... the people attending, quality speakers, quality members of companies. I think it's well organized. Also, thank to yourselves. So we will be definitely here next year.
Wonderful. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you too.